Hello, my name is Opal Singleton. I'm the president and CEO of Million Kids, millionkids.org. We are an organization located in Southern California but operating clear across the nation, and we combat human trafficking, sex and labor trafficking, and we're especially on fire right now in combating online social media exploitation. And so today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. In fact, quite a bit different. We're not going to talk about kids today. We're going to talk about adults. And we're going to talk about romance scams and what a huge business it has become. And this is really because of some advanced technology. Those of you that follow this podcast know that I regularly talk about advanced technology, where we're going to do the same kind of thing today, but we're going to talk about how it affects adults, and especially adults that are single adults that might go online, might go on to romance sites or dating sites, hookup sites of all types. Maybe sometimes it's in a chat room, especially in a video game chat room. They're known for that. And we're going to talk about the same impact that it has on our kids, but how it's done differently for adults. Well, very similar to working with kids, I'm going to tell you that I have never met a person yet that believes that it's going to happen to them. That is the first thing we have to overcome. Because every person I've ever met thinks that they're going to know if they're being scammed. But, you know, we're all humans. We all have the same kind of needs. And quite frankly, with technology, these people are really, really good. And especially now with artificial intelligence, it's going to make more people vulnerable to all types of online exploitation. Romance scams in 2024 was a $105 billion business for losses in just that 1 year. And so I want to help you understand how this is happening and why this is going to become so much more prevalent. It'll be everywhere in every avenue of our lives. So what is going to happen here is that this is happening in numbers we can't believe. The first thing that causes it, or is that, we won't say it causes it, but makes it so easy, okay, to have someone become a victim, is especially if you're single, if you're divorced, maybe you're a widow, and you're alone, and you spend your time online, you have a good time, you might play some video games, you might even have fun talking on some of those dating sites. And you're pretty sure that you're going to be able to spot a scammer that is on there. But I'm going to reassure you that is not. First of all, people that go online looking to meet someone, by their very nature, have some need inside of them that they're trying to fulfill. Trust me, every scammer in the world recognizes that. Maybe you've been alone too long, or maybe you're a widow and it's very difficult because you really didn't want to be a widow or widower. It's an interesting kind of thing. I will tell you that I was a widow myself for about 2 years. My husband died about 8 years ago from kidney cancer, and I have since remarried, and I met someone in person, real live person, with recommendations that I knew. But it would be very easy. It was interesting for me in those days to find out exactly how all this operates and how easy it is for someone to be taken advantage of. So here's the reason why all of this is really quite difficult that is happening. So we've all heard of catfish scams, you know, somebody that pretends to be a lover on the other side of the screen, but they aren't who they say they are. They are, once the real face is revealed, you'll find out, and almost everyone who's become a victim of this are blown away once they find out who they have really been talking to. And so what happens there is you go on these sites and you're looking to meet people, but you're also thinking you're going to be able to protect yourself. But it isn't as easy as you think. So let me share with you, because the same kind of thing that is happening to adults is happening to our kids. Or maybe I should say it just the opposite. The same kind of things that's happening to our kids is happening to adults. So what happened is in 2022, the entire world connected by internet. Now, not all countries are on there. There are still many developing countries that have not yet come online. But there are many. In fact, at this point, I think it was I want to say it was the UN that said this. It was Interpol. That's right. Released a report recently that said up to 60 countries are now online that are running scam farms. So in case you haven't heard about it for the kids, let me back up and just share with you from the start what a scam farm is. To make this very, very real for you, I highly recommend that you go on YouTube and look up scam farms and put them in. You can put in scam farms in Myanmar, scam farms in Pakistan, scam farms in Philippines, scam farms in Cambodia. Especially Cambodia will really open your eyes. So what is a scam farm? Well, as I was talking about the technology of the fact that now the entire world is connected by internet. What is happening in a lot of the third world countries is they have seen that as the keys to the vault, a way to make absolutely millions because they can reach us without ever leaving home. And so what is happening is in countries like, let's say, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, especially Myanmar and Cambodia, they will run ads. And by they, I'm talking about cartels and organized criminal groups will run ads online. Keep in mind that most of those countries are extremely poor. And so what they will do is recruit people to work for them. And these people also have technology for the first time in their life, so they're not terribly sophisticated on how you go about validating things. They don't have the advantage like we have for the last 20 years of being able to be online and understand how this works. Many of these people go on what they think is going to be a job interview. Let's say that you're from India and you have a job interview in Thailand. So you will show up in Thailand thinking that you're being interviewed for a legitimate technology job. And what will happen is the group will then kidnap you and take you off to a place like Myanmar, which is Myanmar is the old Burma. And it is between Cambodia and Thailand and Vietnam, for what it's worth. And those people are war-torn, extremely poor, but they will take you off and put you in what is called a scam farm. I encourage you to look these up on the internet because I have not enough words to describe for you what a scam farm is. They are massive. There's a suggestion that out of Cambodia, there were 30,000 people that were found in a scam farm. Now, these people are being trafficked themselves, but they are being used to dupe you and to literally get money out of you, take advantage of you, and scam you, which is why they're called scam farms. Now, most of the people that are involved in these are absolutely victims themselves. They don't want to scam you, but they don't have a choice. It's their life or yours. These people are treated poorly. They're beaten. They're sometimes tortured. They withhold food. They have heard that they have been sexually violated, and they cannot get free. So they are given quotas, and what they're doing is they're going online, and for our kids, what they'll do is look like a 14-year-old girl to some young guy and try to get them to send a nude. And for investors, they'll try to play the cryptocurrency thing. And there's a huge amount of fraud that goes on in cryptocurrency. Not all cryptocurrency is fraudulent, but it is a category that is very easy to dupe people out of their money because a lot of people are naive. They don't know about what's happening, and they think they're going to get rich quick because they have watched other people get rich over the years. So they will do things like looking like a young girl or a young guy for our kids, where they're trying to scam them out of money. They will do these kinds of cryptocurrencies and other kind of investment scams. But one of their really big deals is these romance scams. So they're going to go on and they're going to look like a lover that is there, that's going to help you. And it's going to be someone who will give you everything you ever wanted. You finally found somebody who understands you. It's finally somebody who cares about you, that's going to meet your needs, that it has the same kind of sense of humor. These people are trained to mirror every facet of things about you. So they're going to pretend to be a lover on the other side of the screen, and they are not anybody like you think they are. So scammers can fake the face and voice. And because of artificial intelligence, you will not be able to tell that it's not them. Because now, especially with artificial intelligence and all the videos that are online, they can pretend to be anybody they want to be. So I'm talking about the Yahoo boys here. They are one of the groups that you might want to look up on the internet, on YouTube, so that you can see what we're talking about. The Yahoo boys is a group of sophisticated cybercriminals, mostly located out of Nigeria, and they're using all kinds of advanced technology, including money transfer. By the way, one of the things that I was talking and wanted to get to here is not only is the world connected globally, but on top of it, there were 3 or 4 other technologies that came together that put these criminals right in your living room and, quite frankly, right in your bedroom sometimes. And that is the fact that they have geolocation software. They can tell where you're coming from, and it is not hard to research all of that very quickly. They have money transfer. That all happened in the last 18 months. You don't have to go to a Target to get a gift card to send them money. All you have to do is use one of the online payments that is out there, the Zelle and all the others that are out there. You can do online gift cards. And you can really interact over messaging videos and do video calling. So all of this is set up to make you believe they are somebody else other than who they are. And it's fairly easy to do because today, especially if you're older, you still use video as a way to verify a person's identity. And they can use that video and use artificial intelligence to look like anybody. It's extremely convincing to you. And what will happen is they will listen and get you to tell them all your secrets. And they will take notes on that until they can begin to win you over. And they will start to come up with all kinds of fabricated scenarios that will get you to send them money. And it's an interesting thing to watch. I have listened to so many romance scams. And if you haven't, if you're thinking you're in one of these or have been exposed to one of these, I highly recommend that you get onto the YouTube and put in romance scams so that you can see exactly how all of this works. So the FTC says that between the ages of 18 and 29, you're 6 times more likely than older consumers to report this type of thing. Well, I think that is a reason for that, because if you're the ages 18 to 29, you've grown up with technology, and you're more likely to understand that you are being duped. But the older people, they just can't bring themselves to see it. Now, I have sat through probably 20, 25 stories of romance scams in my life, and they just tear your heart out. Men and women alike. I think men might be even more gullible because they're used to putting up money in a dating process. But what will happen there is you hear them, they've lost half of their life savings or almost all of their life savings. Some of them literally had lost their house and had to borrow money from their family. And you say to yourself, you seem like an intelligent person. One that we had not too long ago, I didn't invite you to follow Million Kids, but I should, please go to millionkids.org and sign up for our newsletter. One of the stories in that newsletter recently was a woman who was a business executive, an intelligent woman, but a lonely woman. And she ended up losing $1 million in bad investment that she took up with in this case. So you start to meet somebody, you think, there could be possibilities here. You start to trust them. You start to look forward to hearing from them. You get excited when they contact you. They might even send you some little things online kind of thing to get acquainted and make you feel good. And like that. But I want you to pay attention because this thing will start to move in to some obvious clues that most of us don't want to hear about. Most of the attackers find their targets through social media like chat rooms or Telegram, Google Chat, WhatsApp, Facebook, and especially these video game chat rooms. But they also will prey on dating sites and hookup sites. So once you get acquainted with them and you started to really look forward to hearing about you, so they'll start to use lines, and I want you to listen to these lines right here in case you ever hear it, and because these should be a huge red light for you. I or someone close to me is sick, hurt, or in jail. Hey, I can show you how to invest. Hey, I make good money all the time. You're not investing in that? Hey, well, we'll start you off really small. We're not going to use up much of your money, but I'll show you how to do it. I'm in the military far away, or maybe they're on an oil rig. That's a common one too. Hey, I need help with an important delivery. They're out of the country or they're a long ways away and they need you to help them. Watch out for that. They're trying to get you to move goods that could incriminate you and even be illegal. We've seen that several times where they've got in there and they were trusting and they will come up with, help me out with an important delivery. And what they're doing is using you as an intermediary in an illegal transaction. We've never met, but let's talk about marriage. Bingo, big red flag, big red flag. We're just now getting acquainted. I've never met you in person and you want to marry me. You talk about rushing the relationship on. What they're trying to do is increase your trust level with them. And so if you're in a situation where you haven't known them more than a couple months, 3 months, and they're talking marriage, run, baby, run. Get out of there. Put your money away and do not talk to them anymore. Here's another one. I've come into some money or gold. Can you help me out here? And you can trust me with your private photos. Think blackmail. That should set off red lights and sirens every place in your life. If they're trying to get you to send a private photo, what if that was your child? And they're going, Mom, they want me to send a nude. You go, run, baby, run. Get out of there. Do not do that. Okay? So in 2021, the incident of catfishing, known as romance scamming, dramatically increased. That is because the entire world was becoming connected by internet. And a lot of this is happening from overseas criminal groups that can now come right into your bedroom. So the romance scams, though, are the riskiest for people over 55. And here's why. Because you've gotten to that point in your life where you're tired of being alone, for whatever reason that you're alone, and you probably have a little bit more wealth put away. You may not be totally wealthy, but you have a nest egg that you're planning to live on for the rest of your life. According to the FTC, in 2020 to 21, they lost nearly $139 million in 2020. Now, let's compare that number, because in 2024, they went from $139 million in 2020 to $105 billion with a B in 2024. So what is happening is these groups are coming online. I'm reading this from the FTC here. It says many of the romance scams originate in West Africa, predominantly Nigeria and Ghana. The criminal organizations use legitimate dating apps to defraud people who are looking for love. The scammers strategically target recently widowed or divorced seniors due to their vulnerability and their access to cash. So what is happening here is that you are living at one of the most volatile times in all of history. The world's being connected by internet, and on top of it, you have artificial intelligence that makes it very difficult to tell who is on the other side. Almost all your apps have a money transfer on them, and poor people all over the world look at the money in the United States and say, I'm going to get my fair share. We're going to pretend to care about those people, and we're going to give them everything they want to hear, and we will make millions. And that's exactly how it works. So as this has developed here, and as these third world countries are doing this, they began to find out all kinds of ways to go in and dupe our people, especially our older people. I think one of the things that makes this crime so dastardly is that it's based on fantasy, and we all have fantasies. But as we get older, we begin to think that the odds of having that fantasy relationship are really less and less. So what happens here? They meet you online, however it is, and they start building a relationship. They're very attentive to you. They're very affectionate. They validate. For the first time you have somebody who understands you. They listen to you, let you share, even though maybe your ex did not. And so they will start to build that relationship. But it's a relationship that you cannot validate. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're at that stage of a relationship, I would tell you to stop right now and start validating. There are some other ways that you can validate. One is that you can run their name through Google and see if they're anything like their attention on there. You can hire a private investigator. I know one that I can give you the name of here that actually, for a fairly small fee, will go on and tell you if this person's real or if they have multiple relationships going under that name, or if in fact they're out of the country. So they start to build this relationship, and then they start to really court you. They'll set up some dates, you're going to get together, but something comes up, or they need to go out of town. And then the exploitation mechanism begins to start. I'm in a jam, I need money. And then they start to control you and demand more money. So romance scammers lure people in with phony online profiles, okay? They will sometimes use the photos from the web and create somebody who's an attractive and convincing person. They might make up names or assume the identities of real people. That is often common that they do that. The investigations on these scammers show that they are active on dating apps, but they're also in social media chat rooms that are not used for dating. So it may catch you by surprise because you really weren't there for a dating scenario, but this person just seems to understand you and there. Some people will say it starts with Facebook Messenger. So what is happening here is that this becomes more and more personalized. They want to mentor you because you're needing assistance, maybe for investing or that kind of thing. They may be a hint that they're not going to FaceTime you, but they can even FaceTime you or video you by using artificial intelligence. If you start to pull out, they use guilt to manipulate you. They don't want you to go away. They have spent this time trying to bring you in. Now, keep in mind, these are often people that are these scam farms that have to do this or they're going to be beaten or die. And they're doing it in massive amount of numbers. I was thinking about the case that we heard about out of Cambodia, where there were 30,000 people in that scam farm. If each of them were talking to 100 people in an 8-hour day or 10-hour day, that is 3 million people that's being approached every day times 365. It isn't like these people get the holiday off. So they will push this because it's either you or them. If they don't come up with their quota, they're going to get in trouble. So they will start to get quite pushy about that. They will actually start out being sexual while you're live streaming. Do not forget that live streaming camera works both ways. They will ask all the questions and you're giving all the answers. They start sending you gifts or money, but they're small gifts because they're going to ask you for something in return. They ask you for preloaded gift cards. Huge red flag. Run, baby, run. Get the heck out of there, okay? They look just too good to be true. So as you're doing this, one of the things that you can do is take the photo and put it on to Google Images and see if they look anything like that photo. That's the first thing that you might want to do. Another thing that you might want to do is hire a private investigator, and we will give you that name before you leave. So we're getting to the end of this. I want to just kind of close out with some things. If you are suspicious, listen to your instincts. Ask somebody to help you. Even if you've already sent them money, you will never be able to give them enough money to get rid of it. Even if they're starting to blackmail you and you have to give them more money. Or it's looking more and more like the real thing and they want you to fly out somewhere and meet them. Do not do that. Do not put yourself in a dangerous place, okay? If you suspect you're in a romance scam, stop communicating with a person immediately. Change your profile, change your privacy settings, and do not accept anything from anybody else because these guys use multiple names and multiple images that are out there. Talk to someone you trust. Do not do this by yourself. If your child was in this, you would ask for help. And you would ask to help them. So I know you might be embarrassed, but find somebody you trust, whether it's a counselor, a pastor, a friend, and then search online for the type of job the person has, plus the word scammer, and look on there so that you can see. These guys have multiple victims. And you might want to do a reverse image search. If you don't know how to do that, you might want to pay somebody to do it for you so that you can find out how to do that. As you're doing this reverse image search, you can take the picture and cut and paste it and put it out on Google Images and see if that person looks like you think. The other thing that I would tell you, I want to give you the name of someone that does these investigations. And that is Linda Berg Herring, Lynda, Berg, Bergh, Herring, Herring. You can reach her at LJB like boy, investigations. LJB investigation. Just go onto Google and she will actually do a search for you. Okay, if you only lost 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, right now you need to hire somebody and find out what's going on because you're going to lose a lot more than you're going to pay her. And finally, I want to close out with pay attention to your family members, especially if they're elder or older people than you. Pay attention if they're going through a lot of money. or they're taking chances online. You might need a real intervention to be able to do something, because there will never be enough money that these people can pay out that will ever end this and make it right. Romance scams take advantage of some of the smartest people you've ever met. But they are people just like you and me. They get lonely. They want a life. They want a companion. They want to go into their old age sharing things with somebody who loves and understands them. And these people come online and make that look like that's a kid in a candy store. You can get whatever you want. If it looks too good to be true, then you need to pay attention and ask for help. If you're already paying somebody out there, then I'm going to ask you to please stop and ask for help. Go to your pastor, go to your friend, go to a family member if you don't want them to know. Go to law enforcement if it's a serious thing, because this is against the law. If you want to report this anonymously, you can do that at 1-888-3737-888. Let me give that one more time. 1-888-3737-888. My name is Opal, O-P-A-L. You can write to me at Opal, O-P-A-L, at millionkids.org, not .com, millionkids.org. And we'd appreciate it. If you have it in your heart to support us financially, just go to millionkids.org/donate. And we so much appreciate your financial support. We cannot do this without you. We'll see you next time on these Protect and Prevent podcasts. We'll see you next time on these Protect and Prevent podcasts.